Thanks for joining us. And as we hit on stretch on the show, we have to definitely talk about Africa's biggest continental showpiece when it comes to the world of football, the Africa Cup of Nations. Group E is our focus. We'll continue with that. And we're being joined now by two Nigerian legends, you want to call them, talking about former Super Eagles players, Jide Olugbodi as well as Femi Okpabomi. Good evening, gentlemen. Let me start with Femi Okpabomi, who is in the studio. Femi, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. Jide, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's quickly get to Group E, because this is a group that, looks straightforward in terms of the teams that will seemingly progress to the next round, but you never can tell. Football, as they say, is like biscuits. You just do not know where it will crack. You have Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equitorial Guinea, and Sudan as the teams in Group E. Now, this is tricky because the Sudanese had a very good qualifying series. We know Burkina Faso and Algeria, are also there to make it through. Equatorial Guinea, probably the whipping boys of that group. This is how pundits have said it may just be. I would like to get your thoughts. Let me start with Femi. Femi, you have Algeria, former champions in 2019. There's Burkina Faso in the mix as well, Equatorial Guinea and Sudan. What do you make of Group E, and who do you think really gets through in terms of making it to the next round?
Well, as you say in the group, what group is that?
Group E, Algeria,
Group E,
Burkina
Faso,
and Sudan.
And Guinea and Sudan. So for me, Algeria, they are very good in football. They are a football nation. Algeria, I picked them, Algeria and Burkina Faso. I see them keeping through.
Okay, Algeria and Burkina Faso getting through. We'll see how that pans out. Talking about Femi Okpabomi's, prediction about the teams that will make it through from this group. Let me get your thoughts, Jide. We know quite well that with Algeria, it's a star-studded team led by Riyad Mahrez, as it were. Yes, it may be playing in Saudi Arabia, but it still pulls the strings right there in the team. There's Ismail Benacer. We can go on and on in terms of reeling the names. You're looking at all four nations. You look at Sudan under Apia. They've had a very good, stint under the Ghanaian as coach. Who do you think really makes it through from the group? Do you think there will be upsets and maybe just Sudan can upend Burkina Faso in booking their place in the next round?
Well, they say there are no easy games in Afcon, and we've seen over the years upsets, finals, even Zambia in '94 getting to the final against all odds. Nigeria won it playing against Burkina Faso in 2013. So, yes, but having said that, on form, Algeria looks to be the strongest team on there. They're very balanced. They've got a mix of experience and flair in the team as well. When you look at Burkina Faso, you just take a peep at them. The squad heads into the finals, combining Europe-based professionals and domestic talents as well. They showed a lot of attacking capability during the campaign and defensive discipline. So, and I'm going to say that it will probably be Burkina Faso and Algeria. But let's not discount Sudan. There's a war going on in there, and the conflict is actually the huge adversity at home has actually helped them, so to speak. It's become a positive to them. It gives them a positive thing, brings national pride and a strong collective spirit. Even though they're not strong, but sometimes when you have a cause like Zambia in '94, they lost a lot of players and they went to the Nations Cup and they almost won it. They gave us a game in the final. So let's not discount anybody, but at this moment, as all the pundits will say, let's say Algeria and perhaps Burkina Faso, going through as well.
Okay, let's just take a look at key players to expect when it comes to the squad for Burkina Faso. We've talked about Algeria and the Stars. You have Dango Ouattara. Those who follow English football will probably know him quite well in terms of, Premier League football now, right there with Bournemouth. You have Edmond Tapsoba. You have Bertrand Traoré as well. These are players that have wealth of experience playing at top-flight footballs across Europe, and it will be decisive for the Burkina Babes if they really want to go, far in the tournament and possibly pull all punches in terms of winning the title as well. You're looking at this team now. Let me get your thoughts quickly, Jide, before I go to Femi. You're looking at these players. Who do you really think makes the cut for you in terms of getting Burkina Faso through to the next round?
Bertrand Traore is for one long-time player, experience. Is a senior figure, one of the most experienced. He brings leadership to the team. He's played a lot in the Premiership, Aston Villa, Chelsea. He's played Ajax. Now he's back to Sunderland as well. He's one of the leaders that you look at. Utara, you've mentioned him, Brentford, strong guy, very decisive up front as well. He's versatile and he combines his pace with dribbling ability as well. He brings youth and energy to the team as well. And then, like you said, you've got Tapsoba as well, one of it becoming an emerging defender in Bayer Leverkusen in Germany as well. He's 1.92 tall. The guy is tall. I don't want to play if I'm a striker because he just mops everything up. So you got all these players and they're young, so there's a mix in the team. He brings also defensive solidity and composure at the back as well. And he has the ability, I watch him in games, to command the defensive line even under pressure. So I think they've got the right mix in there as well. They got goals, they got experience. So yes, those are the three players I would, single out for the Burkina Faso team.
Okay, let me get Femi's thoughts right now, just to wrap up this group. I know quite well you've given your favorites to progress into the group. If there's any of the four teams or the other two teams that you think may pull an upset and just sneak through to the knockout stage, which one would it be for you, Femi?
Yeah, for me, Sudan, they have strong team at the moment because any team that go to the Nations Cup is a strong team. You can see, but I don't see them proving any surprise because I will go for Burkina Faso and Algeria.
Okay.
They are the strong team there.
Is that the same for you, Jide?
Well, yes. And, what we can also say is that, like you said, any team going is strong as well. Equitorial Guinea, they could be the dark horses as well. They never go down without a fight when you look at them. They're tough to beat when they're disciplined as well. And they're very, very well drilled under their coach as well. So, upsets will be on the cards and there will be a few. So I think Equatorial Guinea might just be the one in that team. But hey, let the games begin and let the beat goes on. We're watching.
Okay, gentlemen, I have to ask you this because you both played for the Super Eagles, and definitely we have to talk about the Super Eagles. In just about 30 seconds each, let me start with you, Femi. The Eagles have been, beset with injuries and the shock retirement of William Troost Ekong. How far do you think the team can go in Morocco?
Well, Nigeria, when we read them down, that's when they proved surprise. Because the caliber of player we have in Europe, all of them play week in, week out with their clubs. So I believe that Nigeria will prove surprise in this Nations Cup in Morocco. I believe that.
Okay, Jide, in about 30 seconds, despite the injuries and the shock retirement of William Troost Ekong, how far do you think the Eagles can go?
Well, I will agree with Femi. Nigeria, when the chips are down, that's when our players show up as well. They've got nothing to lose. We're going out there. Disappointment of the World Cup will actually be a boost for the team. And I know that there'll be lots of Nigerians in Morocco believing they're going to miss out of the World Cup, going to cheer us on. So Eagles, let's go.
Okay, gentlemen, Super Eagles legends, Femi Okpabomi and Jide Olugbodi, I have to thank you so much for your time on the show this evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And to you out there, thank you so much for spending the last 45 plus minutes with us on the show. Till the show makes a return for the last edition of the week, I'm Samson Olede. Do have a pleasant evening.